David, how you doing this morning? Good morning to you. Yes, good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? Good morning. Good morning, big bro. How you feeling? Good morning, Esther. How you guys doing this morning? Good to see you guys this morning. Good to have you guys here this morning. Yep, we're gonna wait about another 1 minute. We'll wait 60 seconds to for people if they want to come on here. Good morning, Miss Brenda. How are you? I want to today is going to be a lot of I have questions. Today I have lots of questions that I want to tackle this week. I'm doing great. Thank you, David. I'm doing wonderful this morning. Doing great. Got a little busy morning. Have about 15 minutes so I can share and put some things out there. I really want to get the feedback that comes up in our minds concerning shortcuts today. Um, so we'll wait another few seconds for people to come so we can get started and get through this. Won't be long, but I definitely have a question, especially in a day, an age that we live in, the age we live in. Um, I believe shortcuts is a major design for us and today in our society of today, the society of technology. Shortcuts is everything, right? Got this thing over my shoulder. So let's go ahead and get started. So shortcuts, right? I want to I want to talk about shortcuts. Maybe today, definitely tomorrow again, because today I'm asking a lot of questions within my own mind, within myself, and then I want to know what you guys think. So uh, I like this. So I saw a message that said that the longest way is the best way. I think that's what somebody said. Just sent me. Um, so are shortcuts good or bad? I want to hear from you all. Are shortcuts good or bad? Now I asked myself this question because I literally woke up this morning and I get the topic of the video in the morning. I just wake up. I don't like to do it at night. I like to do it on a fresh, clear state of mind, right? If that's even possible, right? But when I wake up, I heard just shortcuts, and I'm like, okay, so let's deal with this. And so I did a little bit of reading, just a little bit of reading, not too much, but a little bit of reading, and I asked myself the question, okay, are shortcuts good or bad? That's my question. And if they are good, and someone would say my own mind, I said, well, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're bad. Now, let me say this first, okay, about my cuts. When I think shortcuts, I think routes driving. I think driving routes, right? And I must admit, I love shortcuts. I love shortcuts. I love shortcuts so much driving that I'll turn off into streets. I don't even know if it's a shortcut, but if it looks like a shortcut, I'm taking it like almost 9 times out of 10. Unless my wife's in the car, she's like, "Baby, just stick to the pavement, just stick to the road, stick to the main. You're so impatient." And I can say that I am. I'm not the most patient person. Like by nature, I'll admit I'm not patient at all. So shortcuts are very valuable to me, right? So when are shortcuts good, and then when are they bad? If they're good, sometimes why are they good? If they're bad, then when is it bad? Why is it bad? Right? So look at the definition of shortcut. Is anybody on here like me? You're not very patient driving. You'll take a shortcut in a hot without even hardly thinking. Okay, you'll take one as quick as it pops up to you. You'll take it. And so I learned. I'm like a master at learning shortcuts. I just learned a recent shortcut. We've been living in this in our house, a current house, for almost 2 years, and I just found a shortcut 2 weeks ago. Right after one of the main streets, I found a shortcut, and I love it. I love it. I always make sure it's a shortcut. Whenever I make the turn I always kind of look at my rear view to make sure I'm dusting the ones sitting at the light. I'm making sure they in my dust, right? And so I love shortcuts. I love them. So look at this. A shortcut. This is the definition of a shortcut. A shortcut is a shorter alternative route. So it's a shorter alternative route. That's what I love about shortcuts when I'm driving. An accelerated way of doing or achieving something. An accelerated way of doing or achieving something. And so this is something that's very important. Anything that's accelerated, anything that I can get done in an accelerated manner and get the same results, that's a good thing, right? That's a win. That's a victory, right? And so my other question is, are shortcuts deceptive? Are they deceptive? I want to, like, these are questions I want to I'm literally going to go back, and I need you guys to answer these questions. Are shortcuts good or bad? Okay. And most of you, I'm sure, like myself, will say, well, it depends. Okay, so when is it good? When is it bad? When is a shortcut good and when is a shortcut bad? All right? Because I'm going to go back, I'm going to look at these comments, and when I study this, I'm going to look deeply into this, right? Because when a shortcut's good, when a shortcut's bad. I love shortcuts. And then my other question is, are shortcuts deceptive? Because it's an alternative route, right? It's an accelerated way to get to an end, to achieve something, and it's an accelerated way to achieve something. That's to achieve a desired result. So are they deceptive? And a desired path, because usually a desired path is the path of least resistance. Okay, a desired path is usually the path that has the least resistance. It has the least amount of resistance. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Cuz T. Good morning, Coach Smitty. Good morning, sir. So we're talking about shortcuts. We're talking about shortcuts, and are they good or are they bad? You know, and so I have a few questions. So when you go to the mall, okay, when you go to the mall, okay, I see. When you go to the mall and you know the exact store, you know where your store is located. You know where your store is located. Are you going to go through the mall entrance, or are you going to go through a department store where your desired store, your store is located actually closer to the department store than actually going through the mall? Okay, so are you going to go through this department store, or are you going to go through the mall entrance? I know me, you know, I very rarely, if I do, and I don't go to the mall very often, but when I do, if I do, because I don't like to shop very much, I don't like to shop at all, really. Okay, so if I'm going, I'm going there for like one thing, right? And I need to go right to it. And usually I never go through the main entrance. I'm going to go through the department store that's closer, and I'll go through there. I don't want anything to do with the department store. I'm just using that store as a shortcut to get to where I need to go. So is that the best thing, right? It's the path of least resistance. And then so I have three questions, three things that come up when I think shortcuts, three things that come up to me. First of all, it's a cut. Okay, we have to look and understand the back end of the word shortcut. It's a cut, and a cut is something that separates a thing from the main body, right? That's the definition of cut. Something that separating something from the main body. You're separating something from the main body. So what is being cut? That's my question. That's my question. Yes, if you shortcut the shortcut, you get cut short. I love that, coach. I love that. I love that, especially from coming from a coach, a good coach, an awesome coach, one of the best in the state, right? That's awesome, because we know that a cut, we have to understand what's being cut out. So my first question is, what is being cut out? Because a cut means you're cutting something, you're detaching something from the main body. So what's being cut? That's when I think shortcuts, I must ask myself the question, what is being cut out? Usually we take shortcuts to do what? To cut out time, right? We want to cut out time. We want to cut out time. When I take shortcuts driving, I want to cut time out. Okay? I want to cut time out. So the first thing I need to understand when it comes to shortcuts, what is being cut out? I must know, I must have good knowledge of what is being cut out. What's being cut out? The second question is, I must know the cost of the cut. What's the cost of the cut? Is this shortcut going to cost me? Okay? Is this shortcut going to cost me? In order to buy time, right? If I'm trying to save time, I'm buying time, right? I'm cutting time out. So instead of taking 5 minutes, I'll take the route that's going to take me 4 minutes. So I cut out a minute. Okay? I cut out a minute. But is cutting that minute out going to cost me? I must know the cost of the cut. Saving time could cost us. It could cost you. Does the end justify the means? That's my question also. Does the end justify the means? If I can get to my house in 3 minutes and on the main, if I can get to my house in 5 minutes taking the main route, the route that's already paid for me, if I can take that route, get there 5 minutes, or if the end justifies the mean, that means I'll get there no matter what. By any means necessary, I'll get there shorter. I'll take the shortcut by any means necessary. Now, what is that going to cost me? What is that going to cost me? If I want to lose 50 pounds and that's the end result, okay? Now, does the end govern the means? Does the end justify the means? So if I want to lose 50 pounds, that's the end. Okay, what's the quickest way for me to lose 50 pounds? Let me go get surgery. But is that going to cost me? What is the if I allow the end to justify the means, then the shortcut, it doesn't matter how I get there. I'm just going to cut out. But remember the definition of cut. You cut off from the main body. So what am I cutting out? What's the cost? If I lose 50 pounds getting surgery, is it going to cost me? Is it going to cost me? Is it going to cost me? Yes, and you know what? You know how we know it's going to cost us? It's going to cost us in lots of ways. I can think of a couple of costs. I got to sign a waiver. Before I take this surgery, before I get this surgery, I have to sign a waiver that says you could die. You could die losing this 50 pounds. That's your desire. That's your end result. That's the result that you desire. That's the path of least resistance. So you got to know the cost. The cost is you could die right here on this table. And many have, right? Many just got a common surgical removal of fat and something went wrong, right? Just a common surgery and something just went wrong. So there's a cost. Well, what's the other cost? If I allow the end result to absolutely dominate my focus, now I'm losing sight of the cost. So one cost is, okay, how did I get this 50 pounds extra on? Now you're looking at somebody who had 40 pounds. I have 40 pounds of fat on my body, right? And I didn't even realize I was subconsciously gaining weight. I didn't even know I had gained that much weight until after my father passed. I stepped on the scale and I was like, man, I'm 220? How did I get here? Right? So the cost is, if I know the cost, I know, man, how did I get all this weight on me? Okay, how did I get this weight on me? I must ask that question. So I can't let the end justify the means. I must look at all the in between. How did I get all this weight on me? Okay, and then if I just go and have surgery, is that going to fix my problem in the long term? Right? If I just get 50 pounds cut off me and I didn't even diagnose how I gained the 50 pounds, don't you know that 50 pounds is coming back? It's coming back. And usually the history shows the data is so dominating in this. Usually when we do diets, when we do shortcuts or do things like that, it comes back and it comes back more. So if I lose 10 pounds, I'm actually going to, when it's all said and done, I actually gain 15 or 20 pounds. The data is out there. So I must know the cost. The other cost is I need to know how. I don't know how to keep it off of me, right? Because I'm going to eat. I have to eat. So if I didn't diagnose how I lost the 50 pounds, how am I going to know how to keep that 50 pounds off me once I lose it? That comes through something that a shortcut will not respect. A shortcut will not respect process. Usually, shortcuts don't respect process. And is that true or is it not? Let me know. Let me know. Do shortcuts respect process? Do they respect process? What's the cost? I was looking at this town. I was looking at this video this morning about shortcuts, and they talked about this town, Brasilia, and how you have this highway, right? You have a freeway, but then you have this building, and then you have these businesses right across the freeway. And so the quickest way to get there, I can see it. It's right there. Don't you hate that? You can see where you have to go right there, but the only thing that's paved will take you 10 minutes out of your way. So what happens is people take the shortcut. They take the quickest route. The end justifies their means. And guess what? You know what the cost was? A lot of deaths, a lot of accidents, a whole lot of accidents. They have a high rate of accidents there because the end justifies so many people's means. And we cut time out. And let me ask you this. What's being cut out? Time, right? Okay, time to do what? If I wanna buy back 2 minutes, right? Now I'm talking to myself right here because I'll take the shortcut. Instead of waiting at a light, I can take a street where I can go through a little neighborhood and I can get to my house quicker if the light is red, right? So I saved 2 minutes. But I saved 2 minutes to do what? What did I save 2 minutes for? And sometimes when we're taking shortcuts, we're rushing. And sometimes when we're rushing, there's a cost. We may not be seeing the end is justifying our means. So the end result, I'm so focused on the end, I don't see that kid crossing the street on a bicycle. The end is justifying the means, so I got to get there quicker. I got to get there quicker. And a lot of times when we're trying to get somewhere quicker, we'll rush. And when we're rushing, it's harder to take in where we actually are. Where am I? Because if I just want to lose 50 pounds, I don't realize how did I get here? How did I get here? I'm just looking up losing 50 pounds, losing 50 pounds, losing 50 pounds. So we must know there is a cost. And sure enough, that area produced so many fatal accidents because of the shortcut. The shortcut was so dominating that the people didn't even take a safer route that will actually help them, or even say, hey, you know what, why don't we just build I'm thinking about Mizzou. We had when we built my sophomore year, we built the crosswalk. Instead of crossing the street, they just built a bridge that goes over the street. So now, you got the cars that can keep rolling, and then we can just go across the Tiger Walk. That's what it's called, the Tiger Walk. And so the last thing I have, and I only got 2 minutes. The third thing is we must know when to reject the shortcut and accept the longer route. When do we reject the shortcut and accept the longer route? Like Coach said, if we shortcut and we cut, we might get cut short. We might get cut short. We might get cut short. Right, Coach? You got that dude on your squad, and he wants to come right on varsity. He wants to start. He wants to be your starting quarterback. He's got the skill, he's got the potential. Because when we take shortcuts, it means we have the potential to do it. But what does he lack? I'm sure the coach, if he ain't built the chemistry with his squad, his potential, his abilities, his skill, they don't mean as much. Somebody can have less skill, but if they've went through the process of learning his team, learning his squad, learning his receivers, spending that time, investing that time with his squad, that person is going to take you further than the person with all the skill, right? With all the skill. So when do we reject the shortcut in favor of the longer route? Now listen to this. Process. This is the definition of process. A system, I can't wait to read these too. I see you guys saying some good stuff. A systematic series of actions directed to an end. A series of systematic actions of series, right? A series of changes taking place in a definite manner. Ooh, wait. See, a process causes change. See, that's the beauty of process. A shortcut may reject process, but process is what produces change. If a process produces change, then because we all need change. We're going to have change, right? If process produces change, but the shortcut cuts process out, then we got a problem. We got a problem, right? We have a problem. And so I was at the gym yesterday, and I saw a lady, and I asked her at the gym, one of the gym friends. I said, how was a Father's Day for your hubby? How'd you do? She said, oh, we did a good time. We had a good time. And I said, you mind me asking how long you been married? She said, 29 years. And I said, wow, 29 years. And I'm looking at me. I'm like, man, I've been married 9 years. We're in the same space. We're here. I'm married. You're married. You've been married 29 years. I've been married 9 years. So one thing I understand is you've been 20 years in a process longer than I have. And so when I meet people who've been married a long time, I always ask them, especially if I can see, if they look happy and just, and they talk, I'm like, man, they've been married 30, 40 years. I'm always asking them the same thing. What's the secret? What's your secret? What's your secret? And one thing about it, I can know her secret. She says, we know each other. And he accepts me for who I am. I accept him for who he is. We're not perfect. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But we've fallen in love with each other, and we know each other's, frailties or whatever. And so I can know what her secret is. But guess what? I can't shortcut 29 years of marriage, right? So the more valuable something is, the more we need to really kind of look away from the shortcut. That's actually a question. Is the value of a thing, does the value of a thing make you want to do a shortcut, or does it make you want to seek the longer route so that you can take in more knowledge? So I can't wait to go through these, y'all. I'm sorry my time is up. I got a meeting in 30 minutes. So I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome day. And I really want you to think about these three things. What is a shortcut? When is it good? Is it good or bad? When is it good? When is it bad? Is a shortcut deceptive? Is a shortcut deceptive? And then the three knows: know when, know what's being cut out, know the cost of the cut, and then know when to reject the shortcut and acceptance of the longer route. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I can't wait to look at these. Tomorrow we're going to get back on this, and we're going to dig deeper into it. Love you guys. Have a blessed day.